Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Week in IT, a mostly weekly review of the biggest enterprise IT and developer news, fact-checked, edited, and written by the real-life editors of Converge 360 and narrated by AI. I'm your host, Gladys Rama, and we have quite a bit of ground to cover, so let's get started. All right, so first up is Microsoft's June Patch Tuesday. As Chris Paoli reported over on redmondmag.com, this month's update addresses 66 vulnerabilities across Microsoft's software stack. This includes one 0-day that's already being actively exploited and another that's been publicly disclosed. The big one to watch is a remote code execution vulnerability in the WebDAV protocol. Apparently, attackers are already using this in the wild, and it just takes a user clicking a malicious link or visiting a compromised site to trigger it. Experts estimate that a huge percentage of enterprises are vulnerable. Also, there are some unpatched Office flaws that security researchers are saying could be even more dangerous than they appear, so definitely patch those ASAP. In particular, there's a heap-based buffer overflow that's considered super exploitable. The recommendation there is to disable the Outlook preview pane and filter email attachments until you can get those fixes in place. You know, better safe than sorry. Next up, from Redmond Channel Partner, we've got some news about a leadership shakeup at Microsoft. So, Ryan Roslansky, who's the CEO of LinkedIn, is now also going to be overseeing a new Microsoft division called Productivity and Business Processes. A lot of big core Microsoft apps fall under this umbrella, like Microsoft 365, Teams, and all those AI-driven tools like Copilot, plus stuff like Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Loop. Satya Nadella sees this as a way to finally integrate Microsoft's workplace products with LinkedIn, which is what Microsoft intended to do anyway when they acquired LinkedIn 9 years ago. Okay, so now let's talk about OpenAI, which apparently just launched an all-out war against malware. According to a story by David Rommel on Pure AI, OpenAI is using their own AI models, plus, human oversight, to stop bad guys from using AI for malicious attacks. They've actually disrupted a bunch of adversarial campaigns, things like cyber attacks on cloud infrastructure, AI-assisted scams, and even influence operations on platforms like X, TikTok, Telegram, and Facebook. There was one case where some North Korea-linked actors were using ChatGPT to create fake resumes and even simulate job interviews. And another case showed how groups were using AI for penetration testing, reconnaissance, and credential theft, all aiming to take down US defense networks. OpenAI says using AI is kind of a force multiplier for their investigations, helping them see how these malicious actors are working and speeding up detection. So, in the end, it's AI fighting AI. Switching gears, let's talk development. If you're a Visual Studio user in any capacity, Microsoft's teasing a discount for the upcoming VSLive Developer Conference, which is happening at their Redmond headquarters in August. This is a big one, especially given the year that GitHub, .NET, and Visual Studio have had so far thanks to AI. Being at the Microsoft mothership gives you access to all sorts of developer advocates and experts. They've got sessions covering everything from Blazor to Azure machine learning and next-gen technologies, including the stuff they unveiled at Build last month. So definitely something to consider if you're in that space. You'll find a link to the event in the description box below, along with links to all the articles we talked about today. And that's a wrap on this edition of Week in IT. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with your colleagues. See you next time.